line today. Their secondary will have a different look. Nolan Carroll and 2 rookies will combine to replace Brandon Carr and Morris Claiborne. Running back Ezekiel Elliott enters his sophomore season after he led the NFL in rushing last season. Elliott finished with the 3rd most rush yards by any rookie in NFL history and was named a first-team All-Pro. And unlike last year at this time, Dak Prescott will go through the offseason knowing he is the Cowboys' starting quarterback. He helped the team win 13 games last season, tied with Ben Roethlisberger for the most by any rookie in league history. So the Cowboys in a far different position, or at least we know they are now at this point now than this point last offseason. But what's their biggest challenge, Adam?
Well, I think going forward, we've got a couple issues that this team faces. Already today, there was the news that David Irving, their defensive lineman, the pass rusher that emerged last year, is facing a 4-game suspension that he appealed just last week. And there is the ongoing investigation that hangs over, I think, this franchise going into this upcoming season with Ezekiel Elliott and the incidents that date back to last year and last summer involving alleged domestic violence. Now, the league has cleared other players of other offenses. Darrelle Revis is clear yesterday. Ezekiel Elliott still has not been clear. And we don't know what the league is going to do, but we do know that the league has been looking at this incident and incidents for months now. Months. And under the league's policy, it could suspend a player 6 games, and it could also find extenuating circumstances to reduce that suspension. But until we hear from the league, one way or another, whether there's going to be discipline or not, we do not know how this is going to turn out, and it hangs over Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys and has hung over them for weeks and months now because the league has been gathering information on a regular basis.
It's certainly a situation where it's just been difficult to close the door, and that door is not closed yet, still to be determined. But let's say, just for the sake of this argument, Jeff, that he is cleared to play, that offense comes together as a cohesive unit for the 2nd year in a row. What are the expectations then?
I think that's probably my greatest fear is what are the expectations? Your 2nd year coming in, you know, the honeymoon's over. You have expectations now from a coaching staff, from a fan base of what these guys are going to look like, and how are they going to respond to that? Do they understand coming in first OTAs where they're both going to be called upon to not only be the same but improve on last year? Last year, everybody was just happy they showed up and played the way they did. Now the expectation is they'll do better. You know, can they handle that? The level of professionalism just increases greatly from your rookie year to your 2nd year, and they have to understand, am I showing up with that level, with that attitude? Am I leading my team this way? Especially Prescott jumping into that QB role. That is a big deal for him of just asserting his leadership role again.
Yep. What a difference. You know, last year they're just so thrilled. You know, you're a rookie sensation. You burst on the scene. Well, now guess what? That's who you are. You're the Cowboys starting quarterback. You got to play like it.
I'll tell you what, I expect them to be better offensively from year 1 to year 2. Being in the same system, speaking from my own experience, learning an offense and really understanding the nuance and being taught the nuance and being able to experiment and try out some things within the context of what you're being asked to do is a huge step for you in terms of your progression from year 1 to year 2.
Right.
I remember being in Cleveland and going from year 1 to year 2, going through the offseason and really being able to break down defenses and how we wanted to run them against offenses. It's amazing how it frees up your mind to really be able to play faster and really let your athletic ability shine through. So I think offensively they'll be better. Defensively, a lot of uncertainty. Defense is what was their Achilles heel last year. It's what knocked them out of the playoffs. I mean, we know that. And at all 3 levels, they need better pass rush. You need to know, can Sean Lee stay healthy at linebacker? Is the linebacking core overall going to be better? And then drafting 4 defensive backs in the secondary, totally overhauling that part of it. There's a lot to be learned on that side of the ball still.
Look, there are a lot of people who believe that players take their biggest jumps from the 1st year to the 2nd year. If that's the case in Dallas, then you've got Dak Prescott taking a jump, and you've got Ezekiel Elliott taking a jump. The issue is, this is a team that, when you expect it to do well, has struggled, and when you expect it to struggle, has done well. So it needs to show some consistency, and if it can do that, and it can get the jump out of those 2 young guys, then the Dallas Cowboys should be right back to where they were last year.
You make a great point, but back to you, Lewis, when you talk about the offense has to carry this football team. And when you start saying, hey, this isn't, Collins is going to move over to tackle, there's some play in the offensive line, which we know is their bell cow. They have to depend on that thing. You have to understand what your role is now. You can't depend on the defense because they played much better than people expected last year. That thing's going to level off or drop down a little bit, I think.
Well, here's the good news. They're all playing in Dallas. Nobody will notice.
Yeah,
okay?
nobody
so it's fine.
cares.
Whatever happens.
Right. On TV.
The Steelers began